Alright, hey guys, what's going on? I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I just haven't gotten around to it since I have some downtime. I'm a little bit away from the current news, so I thought I'd give some truth talking about some personal stuff that can maybe give some other people some train of thought. So here it goes. So, hair slavery. Yeah, it's about my natural story. So for the black people that watch this channel, they're probably aware of this, but for the non-blacks that don't, that watch the channel, I'm gonna let you on a little something that I think you might find interesting. And it's called the natural hair movement, and which is basically a movement. I would say it's been on YouTube and maybe, I would just say the internet, but I would say mainly for me, I've seen a lot of YouTubers because they're talking about the personal stories and they're giving each other tips on how to take care of their hair. So let me start back. I didn't get a perm. Okay, perm. So perm is like it's this stuff. It looks like mayonnaise. It has lye in it, which is basically like acid that you put on your hair, and you put this stuff on your hair. Like, let's take a piece of my hair, right? You put the relaxer on your hair and you comb it out. It breaks down the bonds of your hair, and you have maybe a certain amount of time to comb these chemicals through your hair. Breaks down the bonds of your hair, so you're shaping your hair as you're combing your hair down, and then you wash it off and you neutralize it, and then your hair is straight permanently until it grows in like the next month. And then each month you have to keep straightening the new growth because your hair is naturally not straight, if that makes sense. It's kind of like when you dye your hair. If you ever dyed your hair, say you dye your hair blonde, but every month you have to, or every few weeks, whatever, you have to dye your roots blonde because you're naturally brunette or whatever color you are. Whatever color you are, you have to keep that you have to keep the consistency. So that's how it is with when you straighten your hair with chemicals. So you straighten them. This part is straightened permanently, and then the new growth comes in. You have to keep straightening the new growth. I hope that makes sense. So I didn't get a perm until I was about 14, which is actually really late, because most people slap, that I've known growing up, like in the black community, they slap perms on your hair when you're like 5, which now that I think about it, it's just terrible. And because it's acid, it sometimes gets on your scalp and you have scalp burns because it eats its way to your skin. Okay, it's gross. I met this lady, because I think too, once you go natural and you it's kind of like breaking out of a cult. I'm serious. I'll tell you why in a minute, but it's like, I've noticed this too, once you go natural and you see other women that have natural hair that, you're like, oh girl, like how long have you been natural, blah, 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 and you share like stories. And this lady said she went natural, because everybody has a different story as to why they went natural, but she had a different story. She was saying that she had a friend that was a mortician, and I guess they would like cut the scalp in order to pull the skin up to make people look presentable, right, in the coffins. And he said when he would deal with black women, they had this crust underneath their scalp that was a result from the chemicals that had been piled on from years. I was like, oh, that's so nasty. And she was like, yeah girl, she goes, that was wrong. After I heard that, I went natural. So anyway, going back to the natural hair movement, I have maybe about 4 people. Let me say 3. Okay, so I have my cousin Janora, my best friend Narciso, my friend Ngozi, my friend Natalie. They all had natural hair. My cousin had these really beautiful sister locks, which is like dreadlocks. Narciso has this big old, like beautiful, like lion-esque afro. And Ngozi had this natural hair. She kept it really short, but she has such a pretty face and high cheekbones and beautiful lips. She walks out with no makeup. She looks gorgeous. And Natalie is just like, had all these interesting hairstyles, and she put this Miss Jessie's buttercream in her hair, and she would smell like, she always smelled like birthday cake, and I don't know, it was always inspiring. But I would look at them and it's like, I couldn't do that. Like, I don't think it'd be good on me, or I don't know how to take care of my hair, because there's a part of me that knew that it was unhealthy. I didn't know how unhealthy until later, but I knew that it was unhealthy. So when I was in in LA, and I was pursuing acting. The thing to do, and just the thing to do, I guess, if you're black too, is to get a weave. So my cousin experimented with me. At first I was like, I'm never getting a weave, and then my cousin would do it for free because she did hair and she wanted to learn how to do weaves. And then I got addicted to weaves, and I was like, oh my God, it was terrible. And I was really bad at keeping up my weave, you guys. I would get a weave and then do Bikram yoga, and then I'd have this lopsided weave. It was obvious that it was not my hair. I was really bad at it. But anyway, I digress, or I'm going on a tangent. So I did the weaves for a while, and then I knew that I wanted to stop, but it was weird, I couldn't stop. I was addicted to sewing other people's hair into my head, which is weird. And then the thing that really got me to stop was I saw Chris Rock's Good Hair. If you guys ever seen that movie, Good Hair. So he had the segment in the movie where he was talking about Indian hair, Indian Remy hair. So you can buy different grades of hair, right? There's the Chinese, people start with the Chinese hair, but that hair is super, super straight. But Indian Remy hair, when you straighten it with black people's hair, it blends the best. It's really hard to distinguish. And that became the craze. And you're paying $150 to $200 per head of hair. It can get very expensive. You can take it out and you can reuse it for a few months, but then you have to buy a new bundle of hair. Not to mention the cost of getting the hair sewn in. But I mean, I was spending way too much money on just on hair. So I see the Good Hair thing, and he was talking about the black market of hair, because the hair is a billion-dollar industry. The Koreans have basically taken over that market, and it's billions and billions of dollars, the black hair care industry. It's crazy amounts of money. So he was saying that people in India were actually getting their hair stolen. Somebody's sitting on a park bench and they have their hair in a ponytail, and people are coming by with a pair of scissors and just snapping off their hair. I'm like, are you serious? So I'm like, I may be wearing stolen hair in my head. That was really disturbing to me. So I definitely got off the weaves. My hair was long enough. I went to my hair was maybe about down the hair when it was straight. So went to Taiwan. I was living there for 2 years. And of course, there are no black hair salons there, so I'd have to straighten my hair myself. And I was literally at the mailbox like a crackhead, every day, because I paid my mom to send me a big old tub of relaxer this big that would last me for 6 months to a year maybe, depending on how much I straighten my hair. And I would just be like, is it here? Did it come? Oh my God, every day. I'm down there, looking for this big tub of lye that I'm about to put on my hair. So I get back, or while I'm in Taiwan, I'm watching all of these videos on natural hair and all these women sharing their stories about how they became natural. And it gave me the confidence. It really, really did, to be able to break away from all this stuff. Then I start finding out about how lye and these chemicals have a correlation with fibroids in black women. Black women have fibroid tumors, and now I don't think it has to do with this really being back, but I think now there's a huge correlation with the products that we use in our hair and fibroid tumors. So I was like, So I was gonna do this thing called the I forgot the name of it, but my hair was already done here, and I didn't want to cut my hair, so I'd planned to cut my hair a couple inches every month while the new growth would grow in, so I wasn't I didn't have completely short hair. And my hair, as you guys can see, is super thick. I'm on the opposite end. I'm there's 1 and all the way to 4C. I'm definitely 4C. So my new growth would come in, it would be really thick and really curly, and then I'd have to comb my hair like this, because it would break off, and I don't want my hair to break off. I want to grow my hair. But one day I had a couple of inches of growth, and I was like, I just kind of flipped and lost it. I took some scissors, and I'm just like, fuck this, and I cut the middle of my hair so I wouldn't chicken out, because if I cut the back, I'm like, oh, but I cut the middle, the top of my head, and my mom was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I just cut all my hair off, and I have 2 inches of hair, and I straight up look like a boy, and I don't know, man. People just thought I lost my mind. It was one of the best things I've ever done. I felt free. I was free. I feel like the amount of money that you're spending on your hair, the chemicals that you're putting into your body, is enslaving you. It's like when people smoke, right? They're smoking. You don't need cigarettes. Cigarettes does not give you anything that your body requires, right? And it messes your body up. and you're spending, and it's tying up your money. So you're spending money on something that you can be using your money for something else. And the same thing with buying the hair and buying all the relaxers and all that stuff, right? I'm like spending all this money I don't really need for something I don't really need when I have my own hair. And then, you know, these chemicals are linked to cancer and fibroid tumors and all these horrible things, giving me scalp burns and, you know, all this shit. So I go into work. I was teaching at a Chinese prep school. I was like the only black teacher there. And they literally, I walked in, I'm like, hi guys. And they're like, you cut your hair? And I was like, yeah. And I had one of my students who was actually one of my favorite ones. She was like half Vietnamese and half Chinese, but she was like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but it looks like you have a dead teddy bear up there. I was like, thanks. But it's funny. She had a sense of humor. She just, kids are unfiltered, so I didn't take it personally. It was funny. And then later, like a few months later, she comes back and she's like, you know, I can get used, I like your hair now. I can get used to it. I was like, well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that, you know. And it's very interesting. So getting back to saying when I was like go out and I would see women with natural hair, it really is breaking out of a cult, because, you know, when I was younger too, I would get, one of the reasons I wanted to get a perm was because my mom would press my hair with a hot comb, but as soon as you wet your hair goes back to its normal state. And if you're sweating, whatever thing, you have parts of your hair that's not as straight and the rest is straight, but the parts of the hair is straight. So my hair wasn't always like together. And it's sad because other black people would actually down me for my hair not being straight enough. And it was me trying to impress other black people and fit in with other black people in order to have, you know, good hair, as they call it. If you haven't heard that, there's like the good hair and the bad hair. And a lot of the kids that were interracial that kind of had that in-between hair, it wasn't straight, but it was still curly, they were considered to have like good hair. And then of course I had the bad hair because my hair wasn't good enough. So I was kind of bullied in that way. And it's this whole psychological thing that the black community you know, has, and the perception of beauty is very, very warped. And, you know, and it's funny because I was like, oh man, probably not gonna get a man for a while, I'm probably not gonna get attention for a while, but I don't care, it's okay, I feel free, I feel great. I would just wake up and wash my hair and go. I mean, now I have a lot of detangling to do because my hair's got longer, but when my hair was short, I would just wash my hair, boom, I'd be done. My hair would be dry in minutes. It was awesome. And I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, get used to just, you know, not having attention for a while. No guy's gonna like me, no guy's gonna look at me. And that wasn't true either. And what I also found is that I attracted a different type of man, if that makes sense. I feel like now, because I have natural hair, the men that I attract are less superficial than before. Very interesting. I didn't think about this observation. Another thing that I thought was really interesting was the fact that, like, as I ran into another woman who's natural, and we're sharing our natural hair stories and breaking out the straight hair cult, whatever. And it's no disrespect for people with straight hair. I just want to say all hair is beautiful, but I just don't think that you should have to be stressed and ruin your health in a result in an effort to fit a standard of beauty which society wants you to fit in. So we're talking, and it was in Trader Joe's, and this white girl comes up to us, and she's like, I overheard your conversation, and she's like, yeah. She had beautiful, like curly, like long curly hair, and she was like, yeah, I overheard your conversation, and I've been going through the same struggle too. And I was like, we were like, what? No way. So we kind of talk about it too. And I forgot, like, I guess I've had white girlfriends who have had curly hairs, and they've kind of had that thing where they felt like they needed to straighten their hair as well. I've just never like thought about it, you know? But there's this whole thing. I might have somebody actually interview them to come on and talk about this, but there's this whole thing about, like, you know, it seems like as a society, we're being programmed and conditioned to not like who we naturally are. So with blacks and you know, there's a whole thing about being like dark-skinned and light-skinned. You know, I'm kind of in the middle. There are people that are lighter than me, but I wouldn't say that I'm dark-skinned. My mom is darker than me. She kind of has a little bit of a complex about it. I know it's psychological, but you know, like the closer you are, they said if you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around, and if you're black, get back. I should find the song. There's a song. It goes, if you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, get back, get back, get back. Anyway, so it's this whole thing about, you know, people that are darker, you know, a lot of times they have a complex about that. They use skin lightening creams, which is detrimental. White people think they have to tan, and they're using like all of these sun darkening agents and stuff, which we all need sun, but a lot of those darkening agents are and the chemicals that they're using to make their skin darker is giving them cancers, like to other health conditions. You know, spending too much time in the sun unprotected to get a tan, to burn your skin, is not good for you. I'm not judging you if you do it, but I'm just saying, right? People getting plastic surgery to like have bigger lips, they're injecting their lips, and they're, you know, getting you know, implants and all this stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm not judging people, but there's a health risk that people don't think about. I still lift, but when I lifted in LA, I lifted this nurse in she worked at a clinic in Beverly Hills, a plastic surgery clinic, and she was telling me that she was super excited when she first started working there, and she was like, I'm gonna get my butt done, I'm gonna get my lips done, I'm gonna get everything done, I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. But then she started seeing the complications that all these women had, even after a quote unquote successful surgery, because she was saying when you're implanting something, even if you get like saline, so you get breast implants, but you get saline in it, implant it in your body reacts and starts like generating scar tissue under your skin. So you still have all these complications and stuff that you have to fix, all these health complications. And she was like, by the end, these women, even if they had a good plastic surgeon, the best plastic surgeon, they had to end up having multiple surgeries and multiple, like, you know, like just so many complications that came with that. She was just like, I don't even want to be bothered with that. You know, botulism, people getting Botox. I have friends that I've had it done. And like I said, I'm not judging. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but, you know, it's botulism. You're putting botulism in your face. It's paralyzing your nerve, and it's putting botulism. It's close to your brain. Who knows? You know, there have been no long-term studies as to what and how it affects you. I don't think that we're made to, you know, put stuff in our face like that. The Korean baby penis treatment that they're using, you know, put in your face to make you younger. I mean, a lot of this stuff is also, you know, you can get deeper and talk about cannibalism and Satanism and how this stuff is really, really bad. So, you know, we're taking body parts, we're using chemicals on our skin, we're sewing in, you know, other people's hair, we're burning our skin, we're doing all these things. Every race is guilty of, you know, trying to take other people's attributes at the cost of their own health and morality. So not, you know, just going natural was great, but it also made me think about other things. So maybe I'll have more shows on this in the future, but, you know, think about what I said, and also think of alternative ways that you can still maintain your youth and your health and your beauty without having to do all those things that are detrimental. But anyway, y'all, I'm free. My hair is free. I'm free. And yeah, okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Peace to you, love you guys. Bye-bye. Mwah.